The ride started again 3 months after it ended. After I checked out of the hotel, I told myself I wouldn't think about the ride again. I deleted the app. I changed my number. I even avoided ride shares completely for months. For a while it worked. Life went back to normal in the way things always do when you're pretending they are. I went to work. I paid bills. I slept through the night without checking my phone every few minutes. Eventually, the memory of that gravel road and the unfinished building faded into something that felt more like a bad dream than a real event. That's how it gets you, by letting you relax. 3 months later, I was driving home late from work. It was a Thursday, not late enough to feel dangerous, but late enough that the roads were mostly empty. My phone was in the passenger seat, face up, plugged into the charger. When it buzzed, I barely reacted at first. Notifications don't scare you when you've convinced yourself you're safe. But I froze when I saw the screen. Same icon, same color, one word, nearby. I hadn't installed any rideshare apps since that night. I knew that for a fact. I'd even checked my phone a few times just to be sure. Still, the notification was there. I didn't open it. I turned the phone face down and kept driving, telling myself it was a glitch, old cache data, some leftover system bug. At the next red light, the screen lit up again on its own. This time it wasn't a notification. It was a map. My current location was marked by a small blue dot. A blue line extended ahead of me, following the exact road I was already on. Under it, in small gray text, were 2 words. In progress. I hadn't requested a ride. I wasn't even a passenger. My car was my own. For a moment, my foot hovered over the brake. I thought about pulling over immediately. Then I remembered what the driver had said that night. If you panic, it gets worse. The radio cut out, not static, not fading, just silence, like someone had reached in and removed the sound entirely. I slowed down instead of stopping. The map updated smoothly, confident, like it knew where I was going better than I did. Then a message appeared at the top of the screen. Unknown sender. You stayed last time. That helped. My hand started shaking. I typed back without thinking. What do you want? The reply came instantly. Completion. The blue line on the map shifted slightly. Ahead of me, the road curved to the right. I knew that curve. There was no gravel road there, no building, just an overpass and an old service road no one used anymore. The app zoomed in. A small pin dropped at the end of the service road. Destination updated. I said no out loud, even though I was alone. The phone didn't react. Instead, another message appeared. You won't hear voices this time. You've already learned. The service road sign flashed past my headlights. I didn't turn. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Relief came too quickly. Then the engine sputtered, just once, then again. The dashboard lights dimmed. My phone vibrated hard enough to rattle against the seat. Pull over safely, that's when I understood. The ride didn't need a driver anymore. I eased onto the shoulder. My heart was pounding so hard, it felt like it was shaking the steering wheel. As soon as the car stopped, the engine died completely. The map zoomed out. The blue line disappeared. Centered on the screen was one calm sentence. Trip paused. I sat there for a long time. No voices, no footsteps, no calling my name. Just the hum of distant traffic and my own breathing. Eventually, another message arrived. This is as far as you go. The screen went black. The car started on its own. When I checked the phone again, it was just a phone. No app, no map, no ride history. I drove home in silence, checking my mirrors the entire way. For weeks, nothing happened. Then, small things started going wrong. My phone battery drained faster at night, even when I wasn't using it. Sometimes I'd wake up to find the screen on, unlocked, displaying nothing. Once, while I was brushing my teeth, I heard the faint sound of a car door closing outside my apartment. When I looked out the window, there was nothing there. I told myself it was anxiety, trauma, my brain trying to make patterns out of nothing, until the receipt arrived. It was in my email. No notification, just there when I checked one morning. The subject line read, Thanks for riding with us. The date was the previous night. The pickup location was my apartment. The drop-off location was listed as all. The total cost was $0. I contacted support, or tried to. The email address didn't exist. The app still wasn't on my phone. There was no company name in the footer, just a logo I didn't recognize and a line of text that made my stomach drop. Some trips take longer to process. That night, I heard my car unlock itself in the parking lot. I watched from my window as the interior light came on. No one got in. The light stayed on for exactly 30 seconds. Then it turned off. The next morning, my car smelled different, like cold air and old fabric. The seats were in the same position. The mirrors were the same, but the radio was tuned to a station I'd never listened to before. When I turned it off, the display briefly showed a time that wasn't correct. 12:59 a.m. The same time the first ride had ended. I stopped sleeping properly after that. Every night, sometime between 12 and 1, my phone would warm up slightly on the nightstand. Well, I never got notifications, never saw messages, but I could feel it, like it was working. One night, I checked my battery history. There was consistent activity from 12:47 a.m. to 1:03 a.m. every night, listed under usage, navigation. I bought a new phone, new number, different operating system. For 3 nights, nothing happened. On the 4th night, the new phone buzzed once. The same icon, same color, nearby. I didn't wait. I grabbed my keys and went to my car. If it wanted a ride, I would control where it went. I started driving with no destination in mind, taking random turns, looping through neighborhoods, crossing into areas I'd never been before. The map appeared anyway. The blue line adjusted, always ahead of me, always calm. At 1:02 a.m., a new message arrived. You're making it harder. At 1:03 a.m., the radio turned on by itself. At 1:04 a.m., the map changed. Not roads anymore, just a straight line. I slammed the brakes and stopped in the middle of the street. The engine died instantly. The screen showed one final message. Trip resumed. Then I heard a car door open behind me, slowly, carefully, like someone didn't want to rush. I didn't look. I locked the doors and stayed completely still, remembering the only thing that had saved me the first time. Don't panic. After a long time, the sound stopped. The engine started. The phone went dark. In the morning, my phone showed no ride history, no receipts, nothing. But sometimes late at night when I check my battery percentage, it drops by 1% while I'm watching. And for half a second, just long enough to notice, the screen says the trip is still in progress.